I'm in a stunned state in the last few weeks because I have all these new patients that I have to be the one to say the thing that I just look at them like, why has nobody else told you need to lose weight? Doc, why is it I'm snoring and I have so much trouble breathing at night? Boo-boo, because you got a bunch of fat choking you off around your throat. Nobody told you this yet? You're too fat, so lose weight. Doc, why is it I'm having so much trouble concentrating and I have so much brain fog and the Vyvanse isn't working? And I'm like, oh man, let's talk about the hemoglobin A1C at 6.2 and the big old 50 pounds around your belly, boo-boo, because I'm not as concerned as you getting off the Vyvanse as I am about you getting Alzheimer's one day. So can we talk about how you need to lose weight? Hey, in the spirit of Jimmy Moore, living low carb or living, I can't keep up with his hashtag handle. But I was on his live yesterday while he was doing a walk and talk. And I'm always like, how do you do that? Do you just hold the thing, right? So I'm walking my Pookie. Who wants to see my Pookie? Hey, Pookie! I have a few minutes before an appointment, but this is what I want. I'm in a stunned state in the last few weeks because I have all these new patients that I have to be the one to say the thing that I just look at them like, why has nobody else told you need to lose weight? Doc, why is it I'm snoring and I have so much trouble breathing at night? Boo-boo, because you got a bunch of fat choking you off around your throat. Nobody told you this yet? You're too fat. We gotta lose fat. So lose weight. Doc, why is it I'm having so much trouble concentrating and I have so much brain fog and, the Vyvanse isn't working? And I'm like, oh man, let's talk about the hemoglobin A1C at 6.2 and the big old 50 pounds around your belly, boo-boo. Because I'm not as concerned as you getting off the Vyvanse as I am about you getting Alzheimer's one day. So can we talk about how you need to lose weight? Doc, I could go on and on, but it's about to get real loud, so I'm gonna turn around. It's too much happening right there. The lawn, we can't go down that street, Poogie. So it's breaking my heart how many new patients I have. Like, on the one hand, they're very mainstream, so nobody told them they're diabetic, they're on metformin, and they're coming to me for something else, like sleep issues, they say. So sleep or whatever, like they want to do neurofeedback, right? So they're coming for neurofeedback, and so they think I'm just going to do neurofeedback. And I'm like, oh man, pumpkin, your fatty liver is actually a problem. So you have fatty liver. Okay. Your doctor didn't tell you your ass to lose weight? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, so we have these come to Jesus conversations where I'm like, you can't eat that much rice all day. You can't, the ADHD is the least of your problems. So let's talk about fatty liver. Let's talk about you have to lift weights. So I had this new patient. He was just kind of like the first appointment. I'm like, that's what I prescribed. You got to lift weights 4 times a week. And he's just stunned. I'm like, yeah. Pumpkin, you're 43. You ain't got no muscle. And, I'm okay with the medicines. No, we're not okay with the medicines, actually. See, uh-oh. It's hot. I want better brain performance, but I'm okay with a super high fasting, high insulin, and a super high hemoglobin A1C, and expect me not to explain to you how that's destroying your brain and how you will end up with mild cognitive impairment, dementia, or Alzheimer's in the next, few decades. So, God bless them. But I just keep going, wait, you had a sleep study, you have all these reports. None of these doctors told you to lose weight? I'm like, I should go into the sleep study business because they're making a killing. And people get all these fancy papers and all these results, and they still go, literally this guy said this to me. So, Doc, is it genetic? No, pumpkin, you're too fat. I'm going to need you to put the rice and the cake down. That's where we're at, people. And they all just want to supplement, right? I'm like, I mean, I'll give you a little bit of a nootropic, but that's not the same. You're going to have to get it together. So I'm kind of like surprised. Have you guys gone through this experience? I think supposedly they say doctors are not supposed to tell people to lose weight now. You know, like it's bad. So they'll have like, come here, Pookie, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to set the dog poop down. Nobody looks sexy carrying dog poop. No, just doesn't happen. It's a great equalizer, right? So that's where I'm at. If you snore, you might have a deviated septum issue. I'm not saying there aren't some of these real things. But it might be because you got too much fat choking off your throat. Just saying. There's that. And I love that, these doctors referred them to me for neurofeedback, because now hopefully I'll be able to make an actual real big change in the whole next 40 years, right? Like, oh man, I'm like, you're diabetic, your kid's autistic, and y'all don't understand. Nobody has explained what you eat and how you exercise. Nobody's explained this yet. I don't know what people do. I don't know. Anyway, it's fascinating. I haven't had to explain these types of things in a good decade in practice, because everybody already came to me pretty healthy, ish, sort of. Like, I don't know. It's a really interesting tide of yeah. What do you guys think about that? Anybody have any questions about that? I got to go see patients. Yeah, saturated animal fat, God bless them, and they're all using seed oils. I have to explain, I'm going to need you to go buy some tallow. I'm going to need you to get some duck fat. But let me explain one of the bigger problems. God bless religion. Because I have all these people who eat a certain way because of their religion. There's no science or logic into why you don't eat red meat. There's none of that. So I can't get people to do the things sometimes. I'm like, oh, yeah, we got that at play. But okay, we'll do the best we can with what we got. I'm usually like, so how committed to that are you? Because like my mentor of 20 years, Barry Bellegarde, is Jewish. He could give two shits less about the dietary shit. He's like, oh, please, somebody please. I was like, oh, and he's like, no, I'm not into that. I don't do any of that. So I'm always around a lot of people like that. Versus, oh, well, we're Orthodox Jew or we're Hindu, which is fine. I can work with all of it. It just makes it harder when you tell me we don't eat red meat because of religion. I'm like, oh. But you went to a hospital, had a blood transfusion for anemia, and you still won't eat it? Okay. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. But you're going to need to lose some weight. Oh, yeah, and you can't really lose weight never eating protein all day. And you should see their faces when I'm like, oh, yeah, beans don't count. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's not protein. That doesn't count. That's a carb, boo-boo. Can you tell I have these kind of appointments today? Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go. It is tough love. It is more. I'm like, oh, man. But it makes me sad. Like your problems will be solved. You got to lose, you got to, what? I just don't understand that. You just don't tell people you have to go for a walk after you eat. It's really not that hard. Good, wish me luck trying to convince some of these people that I'm like, can we just change breakfast? I always start with that. Let's just change breakfast. No carbs or sugar. Let's do that. It's always step one. Yeah. It's kind of interesting because it's like I haven't taught kindergarten nutrition in a really long time. So taking myself back to be like, oh, wow, we got to start at kindergarten. I'm usually used to at least high school level nutrition. Okay, I got to go get ready. I got a new patient at 3, so I guess maybe the other question is something. No, actually, it's funny because I have a physician friend. I remember I met him, and he's Turkey. He's Turkish. I met him in Hawaii. This was years ago, and he told me. So he's a diabetic specialist, metabolic disease specialist, and he only comes in and works like crisis situations. So he worked Vegas, Hawaii, some other place. Like he would do 3 to 6 month, I think usually 3-month contracts. Just come in and make a shit ton of money, be a contractor. And he told me, he was like, no, Stephanie, I'm not allowed to tell them. I can't say you're fat and you should lose weight. I said, what do you mean? Well, can you tell? No, I cannot tell them. Because I literally am taking care of them on dialysis after their feet have been amputated because of their dietary diabetic disease, and they're obese and they're diabetic and insulin. It's seen as harassment by the hospital. We are not allowed to say it. I said, you gotta be kidding me. He's like, no, that's the law here. That's how it works. In Hawaii, I'm looking at these morbidly obese people post-surgery and doing rounds, post-dialysis and post-amputation. I cannot tell them to lose weight. And I said, you gotta be shitting me. He's like, no, that's where we're at. And that was a few years ago. So I went, okay, that really blew my mind. I'm like, is that just a national thing? But I did see, remember Australia has that card where you say, please don't weigh me. It's going to hurt. It's going to be traumatizing if you weigh me, unless it's medically necessary. Are you shitting me right now? I mean, oops. I mean, I feel like, don't ask me my name. It might traumatize me. Unless it's medically necessary, I should start carrying a card. Please don't bill me. Don't charge me. It's going to traumatize me. Yeah, I identify as somebody who shouldn't pay fucking bills. Uh-oh, wait a minute. I just think I came onto something. I'm going to go write that down. I'm going to work that out.